A lot of us hand the responsibility of our health over to someone else, but are they going to do for you what you would do for you? Maybe not, So I think just, taking it on as your responsibility, I think is the ultimate message in that. And it might not be breast implant illness. It might not be cancer. It might be something else, but, getting to know yourself, get to know your body, and be an advocate for your own health. Absolutely.
Our guest today is a certified nutrition and wellness specialist who deeply desires to empower and educate children and families about the mind, body, and soul connection through her work. She's a motivated entrepreneur who has founded multiple startup businesses. She's a coach, educator, and a passionate children's author and illustrator. Her greatest accomplishment, in my opinion, is being a proud mama of 2 spirited daughters. Welcome back to the show, my friend, Lavender Morantz.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for having me back.
Super honored to have you here. You're our second interview, my second interview of all time. And it's been like 152, I think I figured it out off camera, weeks since then. We just released our 154th episode this past Monday. So I'm super excited to have you back. But like we were talking off camera for a second, how the heck has it been that many weeks already? Like this is ridiculous.
It's
it
crazy.
Doesn't feel like it, but there's so much to catch myself up on. Right. Like I need to catch up with you and see what you've been up to. And of course, I always kind of keep an eye on you from afar. I'm in Buffalo, New York, and Lavender, you're in Toronto, right?
I am, yeah.
I didn't know if you moved or not. Okay. So just to give the audience kind of perspective on where we're at, we're not that far, but we're also not, in the same neck of the woods necessarily. And so I've been kind of keeping my eye on your social media, and you got these beautiful books that came out. And I think it was just like we both had this vibe saying, it's time for you to come back on the show. It's not that only when you have something new to talk about, I want to bring you back on, but it just felt right. The timing felt right. So welcome back to Mic'd Up.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
And guys, you can connect with Lavender. All of her social media are linked in the show notes. I'm keeping it super easy. You don't have to worry about spelling her first or last name. And her books that we're going to talk about in just a second, ConsciousKids.ca is the website for that. That's linked there for you as well. That's one of the things that's the newest. It's fresh right now. As we're recording this, we're kind of getting into the holiday season. Likely when this comes out, it's going to be probably late November, early December. We can time it out. So I want to make sure there's a lot of people in our audience that are young entrepreneurs like you and I, and also have kids. So this is like ding, 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 perfect. Antennas going up, mom and dad antennas. Santa Claus's antennas up right now too, including myself, because I always love to get gifts for Isabel, my 7-year-old daughter, that I know are going to be like little game-changing moments over time. Like they accumulate the lessons learned in a children's book. It may just seem something small, but it actually is these big things that are great moments. And I'll just say this before we talk about the books. One of the best things about children's books is it's a great opportunity, as you know, for parents, and I want you to elaborate on this, but for parents to be able to open up to their kids and talk about some of these topics without saying, all right, Berkeley, sit down. We're going to do a little lesson right now. And hey, Winslow, like sit in the corner. I got to tell you something as your mother. And your daughters are going to be looking at you like, come on, mom. So talk about how important it is to open up with our children through the stories in a children's book.
Yeah, I think it's Phil Dunphy from, he goes, teachable moment, right?
Yeah.
For the kids. Yeah. And they are a really, really sweet gift idea because they're really cute too. But the idea behind them really, Mike, and I'm so glad we're on the same page with this, is having a toolkit to raise conscious kids, right? And when they have that foundation of consciousness, connection to self, connection to whatever you want to call it, God, source, spirit, nature, layered in with that, they have a foundation that's going to help them for the rest of their lives, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the idea with these, is to have kind of a tool for parents and something fun for kids where we're not trying to do as I say, not as I do, is kind of leadership 1.0. Leadership 2.0 is I'm going to lead by example, and I'm going to give you the tools that you can do the same.
Something I heard recently, Lavender, through one of my favorite people on this planet, Ed Milet. I think you know Ed as well. Maybe you've seen his podcast before, but he's someone who I follow pretty closely because he's just full of great information. And he's got kids that respect the heck out of him. So like, that's one of the reasons I love listening to him, because he actually takes action on what he preaches about. And something he talked about with his kids is like, he knows that things are caught, not always taught. And that's what you're talking about, where your kids are watching you through your actions, or they learn a lesson in a book because it's caught through the story time, opposed to just taught like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. But like, what's the lesson that maybe one of your daughters learned from her sister, maybe goofing up or getting accolades or whatever, or the girl at school or whatever, you know what I mean? So I think it's super important to remember that things are caught, not always taught. And it's a beautiful way to kind of segue right into your books. And I just want to say, I did not know that you illustrated these books. I looked into it to see what they look like and all the different artwork. I love the pastel colors. And it's cool because all three, it's a trio of books. I'm going to put that up on the screen if we can do that to show the audience real quick. It's a trio of books, so they all have that matching pastel tones. They're absolutely beautiful, and they have 3 stories. So there's I Am is the first book, Today I Ate the Rainbow, and Feel Better, My Love. So tell us about each of those.
Yeah, so each of them encompasses one of the mind, body, soul. So I Am is for the mind connection, positive affirmations, reinforcing what is good in your children, right? Because, the message that is repeated the most is what sticks with them through a lifetime. And if you think about, conscious programming and subconscious programming, our minds are fully programmed from the age of 0 to 7. And within that time frame, kids don't know how to actually reject an idea. They accept everything as truth. So if we're going to talk about the positive things for them, they're accepting those things as truth. I am courageous. I am brave. I am love. I am patient. I am kind. All those things. And then the second one, Today at the Rainbow, is body. So just being mindful of how we fuel our body and, not using food for kind of emotional reasons, but actually thinking ahead about what each thing means when we're consuming it, just to have a healthy foundation for nutrition. The third one is Feel Better, My Love. And this one lands really well with littles because, sometimes they've got really big feelings and they don't know how to digest or express them. And so it's telling them that, all your feelings are okay. And I'm here for you as you process and feel through them all.
So amazing. And so really the 3 kind of the triad again, or the trio, is mindset, nutrition, and affection, really, if you kind of summarize the third book, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And I have a pretty good radar for this. I know that, the second I met you, and this is going back 3-4 years ago, that first time we did an event together, I could just feel this, like it's something about an energy with people. And I could tell that like when I met you, those were the 3. If someone had to describe, say give me 3 words or 3 things, like you have this mindset. I knew that you were, because we had food at the event, we went on afterwards. So I knew nutrition was important to you, and affection. You just had a really good heart for the people around you. And we had met for the first time, but I felt like I knew you already because, we were coming, it was a friend of mine, Dave, and I coming up to Toronto. We were coming to you were hosting us kind of, right? So, and you did a great job. And it just, those 3 words are such a big part of who you are. Can you talk a little bit about how you've used those, maybe not calculated, but how that's your personality really, and how those traits have helped you as an entrepreneur? Mindset, nutrition, and affection.
I feel like the books were born from my entrepreneurial journey, to be honest. It's a culmination of almost 20 years of work. And I feel like the stuff that we've learned as adults, and the tools and the personal development and all those things, imagine being able to gift that to our kids so they don't have to wait until they're in their 30s and 40s to have access to it, So it's really some of the things, that I've learned that have genuinely helped me over the years. to tune in, to be more conscious, to listen to my body, to be mindful of what I'm feeding my brain, all of those things that really went into birthing these books,
Mm-hmm. So again, as I kind of teased, I mean, I'm not 100% sure when this comes out because we do pre-record the interviews right now. So my goal is to get it out early so people do have the opportunity to purchase. Now, I know, as we talked about a couple of times, you're in Canada. It's a hardcover book. So you're doing you're a big part of the distribution on it. Well, I know a big part of our audience is in the States. So how early should they really order these books to ensure that they're there for Christmas time, would you say?
Well, my pre-sale sold out in just a few hours. So I would say if you're sure you want them, and honestly, they make beautiful gifts too. So if you have friends with kids and stuff too, I would order multiple copies. They come in a set of 3. So you're going to get all 3 of the books. And you can either do so through my website or on Amazon as well. And they should be to you. I mean, it just depends on fulfillment, but I would say within a week or 2. But I definitely wouldn't leave it because of the sell through. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, they go very quickly, apparently.
So can they purchase them on Amazon or no? You're saying?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, there is. Okay. I wasn't sure because you were talking about the book being a little different because it's the hardcover. So I just want to make sure that's still good Amazon, to go.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right, cool. That's good. We'll have that linked, obviously. So please send me the link so I can get that over to everybody and that they can take action. I'll be your first sale. I'm going to get the 3 of them. Do they come like that also in a group set, or is that you have to go to your website to get it like that? Okay.
It's the trio. Yeah. So on Amazon, you'll have the option of buying the trio or buying individual copies.
Okay.
And through my website, it's the trio specifically. They're all together. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. You got to get the trio. I mean, they're built to be a set, though. Like I said,
it'd be rude not to.
All the colors. So what is the age, what's the audience for the books?
I mean, I would say 0 to 7, but I mean, it's never too late for affirmations or, I would say 0 to 7 is ideal. But I mean, even on the cover of my I Am book, if you can see there, it says for ages 0 to 99.
I love it. Yeah. I'd say, man, you should put 199 in there because who knows what the way people are health conscious now. Such as conscious minds.
If you're eating a rainbow, health. You might just live forever.
Let's talk about eating the rainbow for a second because I know you and I are very careful about what we put into our bodies. So and my body kind of yells at me, and that's why I have to really listen to it. Like I'm dairy free, I'm gluten free. There's just a lot of things that my body doesn't process for whatever reason. And being Italian, my family thinks I'm an alien because they're like, you have to eat all this pasta. And it's like, I love pasta, but I'll feel like I'm dying. Do you want me to feel like I'm dying at the end of the night? They're like, eat up.
No, thanks.
And then I also choose not to eat meat. And I still have, people who think I have 3 heads because, I don't eat animals and all that good stuff. So I definitely care about what I put into my body. And I do know our bodies, essentially, you can look at it as it's a machine. We don't put random stuff in our car. We put the fuel that actually makes it move and move to its efficiency. Why don't we, like a lot of people just scarf down whatever's in front of them. Been there, done that, by the way. Like, look, I've been an entrepreneur who's been in a car quite a bit, traveling quite a bit. And there are days when it's like, you just got to have something. And I hate that because I know I always pay for it later, feeling like garbage. So talk about, when did you really have this health conscious mind? I know you have a story behind it, so you can also share that with it if you'd like to. And let's take it from there, because I know a lot of people who tune into your content know you're an entrepreneur, but you're also, your products that you've sold for many years now are in the health space. So you are an expert in the space. So let's utilize your gift. You know what you're talking about. So
sometimes
take it from there. Where do you want to go with that?
I mean, I feel like health, wellness, healing is always an ever evolving journey. And when we know better, we do better. I don't feel like there's any shame, guilt, or judgment surrounding whatever your choices are. But as humans, we have a responsibility that when we know better, we get to do better, right? And our health really is our responsibility. And I feel like, I learned that the hard way through, I had cancer at 21. I went through an autoimmune disease caused by breast implants, which I then had removed, but that caused a myriad of other health issues, including up to like 250 food sensitivities, which was crazy. I also feel like, you know, our food quality in North America maybe isn't up to par to, say, I don't know, Europe or other countries. So we in North America have to be even more conscientious about what we're putting in our bodies. And, you know, whether you choose to eat meat or not, fine. Whether you choose to consume dairy or not, fine. Understanding what the triggers and causes of inflammation are in your body are unique to you, right? And there are some, you know, blanket effects that happen. But Today I Ate the Rainbow focuses on fruits and vegetables, which are a part of every healthy diet, whether you choose to consume animal products or not.
Agreed.
And having a variety of colors involved and, you know, different varieties involved that are seasonal, that are local, that are ideally organic. It doesn't have to be expensive. You can grow it in your backyard. Is all
I'm all about
really
that.
helpful.
If you can do it. I know some people tuning in don't have the land to do it, but if you have the land, like I'm all about food forests and permaculture like that. Now you're speaking my language. Right?
Yeah. But I mean, we're not even in a huge space right now. Like I'm in Toronto, busy city. We're in a condo right now, and we grew an herb garden and strawberries on our like 4x4 foot terrace. Like it doesn't have to be like an astronomical amount of space, right? Like it's more intention. Yeah. And then there's food share programs.
A good amount of, you know, like, so what kind of stuff are you growing in that little space?
So we literally this year was like the experiment to make sure we weren't going to murder all our pretty plant babies. So we did a whole bunch of herbs that we love to use on a regular basis. So we had like rosemary and sage and thyme and basil. Mm-hmm. And then we also, the girls wanted to grow strawberries this year. So we grew our own strawberries.
Did you get some strawberries? Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh my God, they were thrilled. It was really cute.
Shout out to your daughters, by the way. I just love the fact that you include them. And guys, when you're hearing Lavender say we, it's Lavender and her two beautiful daughters, right? Yeah. They're 11 and just turned 8.
7. Yeah.
7. 11 and 7. Yeah. And, you know, and my daughter's 7 as well. So, you know, it's like following our stories is kind of cool to see our daughters growing up. But I love that, Lavender. I know this is a small tangent, but I wanted to give you love as a mother. When I see you don't have to do that. You know, you have so much going on in your life. You go, you know, I see you doing a lot of cool stuff going, you know, to different places in the world. And I know with COVID, you haven't been able to travel as much, but, the thing I love about every time I see something cool about you is that you got your daughters right with you. They're in your wingspan, at all times. And I think that's a huge part of your story and your journey. And like, whether it's a success in business or at the home front, you include them. And I think I can tell they appreciate it.
Thank you. They're really sweet. And I mean, you know, just back to how we started this conversation, our kids do as we do, not as we say, right? So I involve them because, you know, that's the spirit of entrepreneurship. That's the spirit of family. That's the spirit of taking care of a home. That's the spirit of, you know, financial independence. It's showing them like, you know, obviously at their level, but it's such a gift to be able to do that. And it's a lot of fun too, as you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're just a rock star in so many different ways. So to kind of put a exclamation on the nutrition conversation, if you will. So going through cancer at 21 obviously is scary for anybody, right? Yeah. So can you talk about obviously you battled through it and you're on the other end of that, God willing, and everything stays that way. Can you share how you did get through that a little bit? I mean, I don't know that we talked about it a little bit last time, but heck, that was like 3 years ago. So
I know
we got a new audience tuning in. And hey guys, thank you for coming back to see Lavender for part 2. I shared this. I know you're super humble, Lavender, but like your first episode on Mic'd Up, which was the second episode of all time for the show, it's one of the most downloaded episodes to date. So obviously there are a lot of people who are excited that you're on the show again, and probably many return listeners. But for those that don't know your story, you can share how you did get through that. Because you're wearing the pink. You got this. If you guys are listening, Lavender's wearing a beautiful pink blazer, and we're recording this in October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, right? Or just Cancer in General Awareness Month. So let's take it from there. How did you get through that?
It's wild even to think back because it feels like a lifetime ago. But, you know, I wrote a blog post called Cancer Saved My Life. And, you know, in the moment, it didn't feel that way. It was terrifying, the C word. Like nobody wants to hear that. And I think, as a result of like the last few years, we're seeing way, way, way more incidents of inflammatory disease, like cancer, other things. But I mean, I used it as a catalyst to completely transform my life. I remember driving myself to the hospital for surgery and being like, life flashing before your eyes. And just,
were you very healthy beforehand, Lavender, or was that something that really snapped you kind of into it?
I think I've always been tuned into health in general, but I mean, I was like barely 20 something. I'm like, I'm still going to drive-throughs, still eating the junk food, but also like I like to cook. So I've always liked to cook. I learned that in my home growing up. So like, it was like, maybe not quite an 80-20, maybe like a 70-30, 30% junk food, but it was like turbo junk food, like pop and drive-thrus and, crappy processed stuff and Cinnabon. Not knocking Cinnabon. It's still my favorite, but it's not on the list every day, And it really was a wake-up call for me. I think we all have an opportunity to use moments like that in life to teach us and guide us to something better if we're lucky enough to have the time to do that. And I did just that. Like, I overhauled my career. I made a decision to like, do I want kids? Do I not want kids? Like, what do I want my life to look like? And I think that was a very formative moment for the next 20 years of my life.
Yeah. That's really, really strong. We're going to take a break. We're going to pick it back up because there's another total health scare that you went through a couple of years ago. You shared it on that story with us last time. I'd like to touch on it again. There's so much more I do want to talk to you about. We have some time to do that. We're going to take a quick 2-minute timeout, give some love to our sponsors. We'll be right back with Lavender Morantz.
Podcasting is a great way to engage with your audience and stay consistently relevant. The only problem is you don't have the time or desire to produce your own show. You simply want it done for you. And that's where Social Chameleon comes in. All you need to do is press record and upload the files. We'll handle the rest. From planning, production, post-production, distribution, and digital marketing, we have you covered. We realize that times are tough and funds are tight. And Social Chameleon believes in building supportive business relationships. By clicking on the link in this promo, we'll provide you 7 free podcasting tips to get started, as well as a free 30-minute online consultation. This is the perfect opportunity for entrepreneurs, keynote speakers, industry experts, influencers, and anybody who has a personal brand. With Social Chameleon, we help you build a brand that is out of this world. We're ready and waiting, so what are you waiting for? Click on the link to get started today. Hey guys, it's Mike. I'd like to give a proper shout out to Navigator Bookkeeping. Look, for a long time, I ran my business without really understanding the full financial picture. I used my gut and my bank account balance to make decisions, which led to some poor choices and constant stress over my business's finances. I knew something needed to change. At the beginning of 2021, I made a decision that helped pave a more clear path for my business. I started working with Navigator Bookkeeping. Since then, my bookkeeping has been handled for me. I now understand the full financial story of my business, making important financial decisions much easier now, and it helps me plan for where my business is going. I highly recommend giving Navigator Bookkeeping an opportunity to help your business. Check them out at navigatingyourbooks.com. Again, that's navigatingyourbooks.com. It's time to know the full financial story of your business.
All right, we're back in action with Lavender Morantz. Remember, you guys can connect with her on social media. I have all those links clickable in the show notes, as well as her website where you can purchase her books as well, which is consciousminds.ca. It's consciouskids.ca. Make sure we get that right. So correct that. Lavender's just smiling at me like, what is he doing? And again, don't even worry about spelling it. Go there in the show notes. It's clickable, so you don't have to worry about correctly spelling it. So right before the break, Lavender, I talked about something, and obviously this is a couple of years ago now, but it's a big part of your story. It's a huge comeback story. You've helped so many people. It's an uncomfortable topic because of what it is, but it is something that I know you personally were going to this Facebook page, if I remember correctly, and starting to kind of figure out what was going on with your personal health. You knew that I don't want to speak for you, but you had all these weird symptoms going on, couldn't figure out what it was, but it did kind of correlate to something that you had, a procedure that you had done. I'll let you pick it up from here, but obviously we're able to do your own research, which is really the point of this story, is that if somebody's they're not feeling right, to get more than one opinion. And sometimes we do have to do our own kind of detective work. So share your story with us.
I mean, it doesn't have to be weird. Are boobs weird? Half the population has them, right?
No, it's not weird. No, it was,
I'm kidding.
Well, I don't know the technical terms for, is there like an infection that you had from breast implants? What was the actual term?
Yeah, so it's called breast implant illness. I mean, there's a lot of other things that can go wrong, right? There's different types of cancers caused by breast implants. They're all of them, no matter what kind you have 40 plus known toxic chemicals, carcinogenic chemicals in them. And you're literally sewing them into your body on top of your, most precious organs, your lungs, your heart, your liver, so.
Doesn't sound like a good idea, but nobody thinks about it.
Why would something go wrong?
Yeah. It's like putting a fire right next to all your important paperwork, like the fireplace.
Oh man, and then spraying some hairspray on there and just letting it go to town. Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah, essentially it is. But the problem is up until recently, there wasn't a ton of awareness around, you go to your surgeon, they're like, okay, the main risk is capsular contraction, which is just like the shell hardening, essentially. But yeah, so I got implants after my first daughter, as I'm sure many women want to, mommy makeover, whatever, feel better again. And I mean, in hindsight, dumbest decision I ever made. However, I didn't really think too hard about it because there were no warnings. Now in the last year, the FDA has issued a black box warning on all implants. So that tells you something.
So this is a huge breakthrough then.
Absolutely. Wow. So, but at the time I literally was like, I knew something wasn't right. I know myself really well. I know my body really well. Something was off and I couldn't figure out what it was. I had every blood test in the world done. My doctor couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. I had my food sensitivities tested, like we were talking about, 250 plus food sensitivities that crept up in that 5-year span that I had them. I think I probably figured it out. If I look back, there were symptoms right from within a month of getting the implants, but I didn't know because you just went through a traumatic surgery. So you chalk it up to a million other things. I'm a mother. I'm stressed. I'm a single mother. I'm an entrepreneur. All these things.
And nobody told you to look out for these things. So you were just you were trusting the expertise in this area, which wasn't really doing their job to help you. They were doing their job to collect a paycheck at that point.
Well, and this is the thing. It's like the number one grossing plastic surgery on the planet, I think still to this day. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, why, wouldn't be the first time that, pharmaceutical companies or the
there's people that have work done on their face too, on their ass. Let's be real. Everything. People get it all over the place. And so it's not just this, but when you're talking about with your chest, it's literally right over your heart. And like you said, this could be something that people, maybe you didn't get breast implants, but you had some kind of work done that you should really be looking into it further, right?
Well, and it's any implant, really. There's a great Netflix documentary called Stink is one of them. And then there's another one, I can't remember, but if I do, I'll shoot it over to you so you can add it for our listeners. Yeah. But any implant, a hip implant, a knee replacement, whatever it is, it's a foreign object. So the difference is with, surgical steel or whatever other products they're using, implants are breast implants, like I said, have 40 plus carcinogenic, toxic. It should have a biohazard warning on it, to be quite honest. People are just right, left, and center getting them put in new replacement upgrade, blah, blah, blah.
If it was a drink that has all of that written on the side of it, maybe it'd be a little different. But even then, some people
would think twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah. Energy drinks have that same thing. And people
and I mean, if I had taken the time to think about why I felt I needed to change myself versus the Band-Aid fix of physically changing myself, I think things would be very different. However, I'm really grateful that I went through that, and I can be an advocate for that. I know dozens of women who chose not to go ahead with implant surgery because of my story, and many more who chose to explant because of my story as well. So, I mean, sorry to the plastic surgery industry. Not sorry. But they do. They come with a black box warning now.
You didn't wake up one day feeling, you know how they always say, she woke up feeling dangerous, or like you're going after somebody. Like you didn't wake up saying, I'm going to go after plastic surgeons for no reason. Look, this is a very real situation.
It was like, destroyed my health entirely.
Yeah, it destroyed you really, really bad to even potentially the very worst that it could have been with an infection or something even worse. So this is serious, and it's not like you're intentionally going after someone, but someone is really the culprit for, not properly educating. And look, if somebody wants to make a choice after they have all the information, then that's on them. We're not even here to judge people. Like there's some people I see do some crazy ass stuff on Instagram where they're jumping off the side of mountains. And it's like something I would never advise anyone that I love to do anything close to it. But I also say, man, that person made that decision. They're living their life. And I'm not going to get in the way of someone doing what they think is fun or whatever. But at the same time, in this situation, you were doing something that you talked to your doctor and they just told you, oh yeah, they might get whatever, feel funny, or potentially that could go wrong. We have to do another surgery. But nobody said anything about all the toxins that are in there that can get through your bloodstream and so forth. So I want to say, not easy to come forward and share that story. And I just love that you said, look, if I can help myself, I can help many others. And there's so many people that I know have been helped by that. Hey, I don't know. Maybe that's one of the reasons that the first time you were on Mike Depp is so listened to, because of the keywords. There may be people who are doing their research. I would not doubt that the reason that episode has so many downloads is because people are doing their research and they're listening to your story, and stories resonate, right?
It's true.
Yeah. So is there anything else you wanted to say while we're kind of on that? Because I have so many other things I want to share.
To your point, like zero judgment, the choice is always yours. But it comes back to the point earlier that we were chatting about, which is, your health is truly your responsibility. And so, I took it upon myself, even though every professional and every doctor couldn't tell me what was wrong, to keep digging until I could figure it out. And I'm so grateful that I did, because a lot of us hand the responsibility of our health over to someone else, but are they going to do for you what you would do for you? Maybe not, So I think just, taking it on as your responsibility, I think is the ultimate message in that. And it might not be breast implant illness. It might not be cancer. It might be something else, but getting to know yourself, get to know your body, and be an advocate for your own health. Absolutely.
Right there. Mic drop moment. Like, you got to take care of you, right? You can't expect other people to do it. Yeah. Consult with a doctor. We're not shooting doctors down at all, or professionals. And they definitely, many situations, know what they're talking about, but also like, you have to come defending yourself in many ways. Like, come to the table. Hey, let's talk about this, or have some questions ready when you go to an appointment, and get a second or third opinion. So that's me preaching right now. I'm telling everybody to do that no matter what the situation is. So thank you for opening up again, sharing that story.
Of course.
There's so many great things about you. It goes back to the books again, right? We talked about mindset. We're talking about nutrition. We're talking about affection and loving and caring. And that is your personal brand. And actually, something I wanted to talk to you about, Lavender, is personal branding, something that people actually have hired you to coach them on. And something you personally lead by example. You do such a great job branding yourself and the different products and services that you offer. And something that's an area you're extreme, this is something that you're an expert in, is personal brands and online marketplaces. So we're going to talk about e-com for a second, and launching e-com sites, which you've done numerous times. So let's talk to our audience for a second. And let's say that somebody's listening in right now and they're looking for some help. They're about to launch an e-com site, whether it's Shopify or something similar. What are the first 3 tips that you would tell them?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would get very clear on who your ideal customer is, because you're not speaking to hey guys, hey everybody on the planet. You're speaking ideally to one person. So for example, Maybe it's a single mom. She's 35. She's got 2 kids at home. She's going to and from a job. She's got to get before and after care for her kids, blah, blah, blah. And you've got this product that's perfect for her. You're speaking directly to her when you're creating your marketing. I'd say that's number 1. Number 2 is I would really invest in the integrity and quality of the product. Because people can see right through that these days. People are educated. There's lots of information to inform themselves, reviews, blah, blah, blah. And then I would also have a really great customer care, customer service, return, exchange, refund, whatever the policy is. Because I think start to finish, the overall experience, regardless of whether the person liked your product or not, is going to speak volumes about you as a business, as a brand, and bring you more. A lot of people have like a lack mentality around stuff like that. But I think that the better you can make the experience for the customer, yes, there's going to be people that are going to abuse it. It happens, but it's very, I think, few in comparison to the people that you're going to be leaving with an excellent, product and service experience from. So I think those 3 things.
Experience.
Yeah.
Hey, one of my recent interviews with Nancy Barrows is talking about being seen, heard, kind of felt. And that's on a personal level, but that applies to business too. And I think what happens is a lot of times people want to sell to the masses and they want to get X amount of, in podcasting, it's after downloads, and in business, you're after, if it's trinkets that you sell, it's units, how many units do we have, what your KPIs are. If it's a service, it's maybe how many hours and meetings you have in your calendar and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, whether you're selling, whether you're a huge big box store and have millions of customers a day, or if it's Lavender selling one-on-one or selling a few products at an event or whatever it might be, it's getting back to remembering you're working with one person at a time. And that's the same for the big box store. Like you have somebody clicking a button in a shopping cart, and you better have your branding, right, resonating with this person. Because if you just are blanket marketing and they don't feel seen or heard, I mean, people are so educated now. There's so many options. Everything's a click away. You're a click away to get a sale, and you're 2 clicks away to close the cart and on to the next one.
Yeah. So I've had this conversation actually with friends recently in the service, around the service industry, like hotels, restaurants. And the experience has just been like so different from a few years ago, right? Just with, everything that's gone on. And I mean, personally, I put my money in business behind the companies and the people that truly care about me and my experience as the consumer. And I'm super happy to redirect spending accordingly. So, I mean, I think especially now, there's a huge edge there. Yeah.
Well, I actually had a past client, or a client that I was working with in a different space, right? Not podcasting, but something else we were working on together, social media. And I know their product and service, and they've been in business since like the 50s or something, right? Family, 3rd generation. And I was asking them about like newer products that they offer, and they weren't really interested in like reevaluating what's good in 2022, right? Or this was a couple of years ago, so maybe 2020 or 2019. And they just cared that these are what we've always sold. This is how we're going to do it. This is how our family's done it. And we really aren't looking to get into surveys, all this stuff. I'm trying to like build their social following and get a pulse on like what people care about. And there are people asking all the time, hitting our messenger all the time, asking about certain products and things. And they're just like, no, we don't offer that. And it's like, at what point are, you're going to lose your, you got people who are interested. And if you don't offer it now, can we talk about considering it? So I think it's super important. As you just said, that personal connection is great. And then build, obviously, like the process of building it out and having great customer service. Really well said. Really well said. No surprise. She delivered again. Another mic drop moment. Lavender, something new I'm doing on the show. I've only done it for a few guests.
Ooh.
Are you prepared?
Juicy.
Something a little different? Yeah. We're going to do a little rapid fire. I don't know that I know the answers to, I can guess on some of these.
Okay.
But I'm here looking to get to know you a little bit better. Let's spice it up here.
Right.
So, some of these are pretty straightforward. Some may take a second to think, but the idea is to really move through it, because I've done some rapid fire on other shows. usually when it's for me, and I end up going into like an hour-long story in the first one. So I'm gonna make rapid fire rapid. You
we
ready?
like to talk. Yes, I'm ready.
Exactly. Favorite book?
Oh, oh man, there's too many.
I Am by Lavender Morantz.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Just what's one that you recently read that was awesome?
Yeah, the most recent fave is Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. She's a PhD. Oh man, it's just like, it's a bit of a tome because it's long and hard to get through, but it's just, every chapter is just mind blowing. So good.
Awesome. If you want to send me the link to that, I'll put it in the show notes too,
Sure.
if anyone's interested. Would you rather be skiing or snorkeling?
Oh, snorkeling.
I knew that. I knew that.
Also, I don't ski, I snowboard, so.
Snowboard.
Trick
Okay.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that? Snowboarding or snorkeling?
Yeah, still snorkeling.
Yeah. I figured. I know you're a beach bum like me for sure.
I
So I love
am.
it.
It's true.
Something unique about you that you don't think I know already.
Ooh, I grew up competitive show jumping.
What is that?
Horses.
Okay.
Horseback riding. Yeah.
I needed multiple choice.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
you don't do that anymore, or do you enjoy going to shows?
I mean, I would. I took my daughters riding this summer so that they could experience it too. But I mean, yeah, living in a city, and then I don't own a horse currently, so couple hurdles to get over.
So I'm making up another rapid fire question to follow
Yeah.
up with that. So did you grow up living in more of like a rural area then that had
Nope.
farmland?
Born and raised
stuff?
in Toronto, but I had weekends available to go and do that. So
Cool.
very fortunate.
Awesome. What's your favorite location that you've ever visited?
Ooh, oh man. There's a lot. I would say it's a tie between a little island in Africa off the coast of Tanzania called Pemba. It's in the Indian Ocean. Oh my gosh, next level. And Bali. Bali was incredible. It literally felt like a different planet.
You like more of the low key, like you and your daughters are the 3 people in sight for a mile, that kind of location, right?
I love nature, so
Yeah.
I'd like it to be like lush and full of all that stuff. Costa Rica was pretty incredible too, very biodiverse. But we like our luxury too, so a little bit of both.
Yeah.
You know?
You don't want
Nature
to sleep in
comforts.
the jungle, but you'll be out there to hang out for
Yeah.
a minute.
Listen,
So
if you
you're
give me a
nice for
fancy tent in the jungle, I'm down.
All right. Noted. What's your greatest fear?
Oh, it used to be sharks until I went shark diving.
Did you go with great whites?
No, there were a bunch of other types of sharks like blacktip, lemon, tiger, but no great whites. I would do that though next time.
So
It's
you
awesome.
overcame the fear by being face to face with it, with the fear.
It was crazy. And it's so ironic because it was so peaceful and not scary at all. Like the boat ride out to the location was scarier than actually being with the sharks.
Yeah. It's awesome. I love it. It's a good lesson right there. How about this? When you're not, hustling every day and take a little bit of time to watch a movie, what's your favorite movie to put on?
Ooh, I'm more into like documentaries and stuff lately. I watched Fantastic Fungi on Netflix.
Okay.
Very cool. Actually, my
gotta
little
check it
one
out.
rewatched it with me. It was amazing. Like goosebumps. It's so cool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm more into, I think, documentaries lately and like stuff about nature. I love nature.
You and I are so similar. It's funny. Like I like to still learn, even if I'm like taking a minute to kind of decompress and just chill. I like to learn too. I geek out on Animal Planet stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Totally.
What's the best compliment that you can personally receive?
Well, I mean, yours this morning being like the top 5 listened to on your show is right up there, I would say. It's such an honor.
I know. Well, hey, I mean, I'm not surprised in that. But like, what about something about maybe a quality or something if somebody says that they really like about you? What's something that would really resonate and mean something to you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've liked hearing, that I'm a good mom, that I'm, an involved parent. It's meaningful to me because that role is really meaningful to me. And then things that I've, like worked to develop versus something that I was just like genetically born with is more meaningful to me too.
Yeah.
Like, creativity or entrepreneurial skills, like those things weren't easy to like develop all the time. And, being recognized for that feels really good.
Yeah. The character development, the things that take time. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
We talked about animals a second ago. If you could be any animal, what would it be?
Ooh, I feel like, I don't know, a bird or a fish of some, just to get a different perspective. Cause it's like, I don't know. Yeah.
I think the bird is cool because you could literally just be like, I'm not digging this. I'm just going to fly somewhere else, check it out.
Yeah.
I'd run into you and be like, hey, you decided to be a bird on the beach too? Like, I'm not surprised. Here we are.
Just beach birds,
We can nosedive for a second, enjoy the underwater life, but I'm getting out of there quick.
Yeah.
That's cool. I do love the ocean. It's just so miraculous. Like I'm definitely going to learn how to scuba dive and take all the classes and stuff. Total tangent, but I just think that the ocean is so beautiful that and it's still so undiscovered, which is amazing to me. Right. So, what would you said natural skill that you appreciate when people compliment some of the things that you had to work harder on, but what would you actually say is your greatest natural skill?
Like something I was just born with?
Yeah. Or comes easier to you than maybe most?
That's a good question. I might have to think more about that one. Maybe sarcasm. I'm not sure.
That you definitely have that.
Right. I do have that.
Comes naturally to you. Well, you're a naturally beautiful person. I could say that, right?
Thank you.
Don't have to worry about offending a friend with the compliment there. So, it's 2022 as we record, though. I don't know. I complimented your
what are we allowed
your
to
blazer.
say?
I'm gonna get a letter.
Oh my god!
Can't say that. Can't tell her that you like the blazer
from my human resources department, which is like right here.
Right there. It's Berkeley. She's got a pad.
Yeah.
That's funny. I love that. That was last one. And it's not meant to be a curveball, but just what comes to you when you hear this first. So, if you could time travel to any place in time, where would you go and why?
I feel like I'd go to ancient Egypt, and I don't have a better reason other than I've got a fascination, and I feel like maybe this is totally a feeling and an intuition, but an ancestral connection there somehow. And not that I've traced lineage wise or ancestry.com or anything like that. I'm just curious. It's always fascinated me.
Your great uncle or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Great. That's cool.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I would love to see that too. I got to see how they built the pyramids. I would definitely need to be in the DeLorean so I can go just 10 year jumps at a time. I'm like, all right, you guys did 12 bricks. It was a week. So I'm just going to keep going. But I honestly, it's kind of crazy to think about this, but I haven't studied it. So I don't know. Some people probably are listening. You don't know that. Everybody knows that. Maybe it's true, but I'm guessing that literally a whole generation of family members spent their entire life just working on the pyramids. They had to have, right? Didn't have the technology.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, well, and what they were capable of as a society, without the technology we have, is just remarkable. It's insane to me. Mm-hmm. It's so cool. Yeah,
there's a reason that there's shows,
too,
ancient
right?
alien shows that are this must be done from something from a different planet. Because I don't think we know humans. We've been studying them for a while. I don't know. We should probably keep our options open to some other ideas. Aliens have a better shot at it than humans do.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. Totally. I've seen a couple shows. And I said no tangents, and I'm doing tangents, but it's my damn show. I'll do whatever I want.
Exactly.
No, I'm the producer. There's nobody telling me I need to wrap up right now unless you have to jump. But I did see something. I'm not going to speak on it super high level because I don't remember exactly, but there was something where I don't know if it was the light that comes through in the pyramids or how they had it mapped out from the top view, but everything was spaced in a way that it was just so ridiculously precise. Absolutely the precision in it.
Yes.
It was brilliant. It had to be done through literally holes or something where they can see the light and then make like a mark on the ground and then check it every day and figure out how to do like direct lines. But absolutely incredible. And that's something that you just reminded me to look back into it again. I would definitely go back there to check it out.
That's why you ask these questions, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Look, you are a brilliant person. You're a fantastic mom. There's no doubt about it. You're a freedom junkie, which is actually, I think, the title we went with for your first interview with us. So we didn't talk about really being a freedom junkie yet today. We talked about your lifestyle a little bit. And, you know, I actually researched it, Lavender, and I looked into that term. A couple people have used it, and there's like one other show. I think I'm not going to give a plug because I haven't looked into the show. There's like one other show that has it as part of the podcast title, but it's not the entire title. So like Freedom Junkies with Lavender Morantz, you should totally launch your own show. I can see you doing this and vibing and having amazing people on the show.
I can see it.
But I want you to talk a little bit about the lifestyle choices that you make and like how it's important for you to have mom time and boss babe time, and like how do you balance it all?
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea of balance is total BS, if I can be completely honest, because like, let's face it, it's always just like, it's juggling all the things. There's no like, I'm not balanced by any means, but it's fitting it in, you know, and it's like what you said, including my kids in the journey, like there isn't a real line in the sand between when I'm working, when I'm playing, when I'm hanging with my kids. It kind of all blends together. It's more blending really than balancing. And, you know, the whole freedom junkie, it's even my license plate, actually.
That's awesome.
Freedom is not only a personal value to me, but a value for my family, my girls and I as well, right? So we do things that allow us to have that personal freedom, that life freedom, that financial freedom. It's part of like the checklist for if we're going to say yes to something new, you know? And my girls are fully on board with that too. They really live and embody that as well. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's so cool that they get to see you doing your thing, and then whatever they're inspired to go and be their own selves. I know that you're encouraging it, and your daughters can totally be in two different spaces, and it can be completely different from anything you did. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
But they are cute, and they're definitely little mini, you know, versions of you. Like your greatest traits I see in them too, which is awesome.
Thank you. That's very sweet.
You got the beautiful books out. I'm going to actually read my notes so I don't incorrectly give the website out a second time, but consciouskids.ca. Go and grab the books. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them directly on the website. Beautiful gift for Christmas, really for any time. If you have kids or if you have nephews or nieces or whatever it might be, these books are just absolutely a great gift as well. I'm excited to get these books for Isabel because she's still in the process of gaining her confidence in reading. And I don't care if it's reading at maybe a lower level or anything, like it's the stories, it's what the books mean. And she also has a little baby brother. So my ex-wife, her mom, just recently had a baby boy. So she's already that big sister role. And I can see her getting into the position of like wanting to share beautiful stories with her little brother. So really, really cool. So I wanted to plug the books again because they're just absolutely amazing. And I'm looking forward to getting those in the very near future here. And it kind of segues into my last question. I cannot believe we're already at the end of the interview.
I know.
I'm going to have you back sooner next time, not 3 years later.
152 weeks later.
Yeah, right. Hilarious. But so think of it this way. I don't know if I asked you this last time, but it's 3 years ago. So the answer likely has changed, which is why I love you. You're not just focused on one thing. You've got many different iterations of your life and your business going on. But if you think of it this way, you're the author and protagonist in your own life story, right? And you get to write the ending, God willing, you continue to live a long, prosperous life. You're looking back on it and now you're reflecting and you get to define your legacy. What would that be?
Ooh, I honestly feel like this chapter with the Conscious Kids kind of journey is it. I feel like it's everything of me up until this point. And I also feel like it's such a gift to be able to give that to future generations that are going to be taking over this planet and this world. Yeah, I think that, and being a parent, it's raising those conscious kids ourselves. Yeah, I think that for me, that's it.
I always get chills when I save that question for the end, because I get chills when I interview someone and then I go to ask that question and I get this like feeling of, she's already doing it. She's doing it. Like the legacy piece is something that you're doing right now. And some people might think that sounds pompous to think about it, but really it's like, no, like we're on this planet. We have the opportunity to serve. We have the opportunity to leave it better than it found us when we were born. And if you're not thinking about that, then I think you're being selfish, really, because you're just like me, but you're not. Like everything in your story is giving back.
Yeah. It's the biggest honor, really, like to be able to hand something to future generations and know that they'll know what to do with it because they're equipped to be able to do that, I think it's so special.
More information. Yeah, the thing that's really cool, there's a lot of things definitely today, not to end on a damper, but there's a lot of things that are certainly wrong. I mean, politics, everything else that goes on in the world that really makes you wonder. I know, Lavender. Me too. But, right. And so we can always look for the negatives, but when we look to the positives with technology, kids are so fast to learn now that, Isabel knows how to use my iPhone better than I do. And it's not because I put it in her hands. She's literally, I just once in a while, we'll look at photos together, or I'll show her, like if I post something on Facebook with her in it, I want her to see that, to show her how much I love the moments with her and that she gets to see it. And she always asks me, other people see that too? I'm like, is that cool with you? Is that all right? Like, we're at Chuck E. Cheese. It's not that big of a deal. But and so my whole point is like, kids learn so fast, the information is flying at them. And like, so what someone can do and learn and grow from today, or even the kids in the next generation, they can implement it and actually have things like out into the real space so much quicker. Where like 100 years ago, it may take 50 years for the idea to be developed, and another 50 years for it to be like distributed, and then like another 50 years for society to actually accept it. So it's like 150 years for like from like Einstein's one idea for people to start like embracing it, right?
Yeah.
In books and everything. Well, now it's not like that. I mean, it's a 7-minute YouTube video, and 2 years later, everybody can have whatever that new trinket is.
Instant. That's true.
So the stuff you're talking about is exciting because there's, your daughters are going to be able to actually take it and run with it. So exciting. Yeah. Well, this is an honor. And if I have to use it as an excuse for us to catch up, you can be on the show as many times as you want. But next time, let's do this in person. Let's get some coffee. I'll come over the border. If that's still something that is open, who knows? Seems like every other day there's different rules.
I know.
But let's get our girls together too. Maybe you can come up to or down to Buffalo. We can make that happen.
We would love that.
You're a bright light, and today you're rocking that pink blazer, so it's even shining brighter today, Lavender. And I just want to say thank you for coming on the show, being real, and just being you. And that's exactly what I was looking forward to. You over-delivered as always. Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, Mike. It's always so much fun.
Guys, you know what to do. 2 things at the end here. Be great and be grateful. Cheers.
I'd like to give a huge shout out to everyone for tuning in, especially those who listen all the way to the end to hear this message. Seriously, I appreciate you, and my guests do as well. Giving a quick reminder to subscribe to this show. It's completely free and will allow you to receive notifications when new episodes are released. If you'd like to provide a tip as a gift, you can do so via patreon.com/mikedup. It's spelled MIKED up. Patreon.com/mikedup. You can give as little as $1 per month or as much as you'd like. Every dollar is greatly appreciated and completely unexpected. Appreciate your reviews and your messages coming in on social as well. Keep them coming. Your feedback is valuable and absolutely means the world to me. You can check out more episodes and content at mikeduppodcast.com. We're powered by Social Chameleon. You can also follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm the most active, and it's at Mike DiCioccio, MIKEDICIOCCIO. Thank you so much for your continued support. You guys know what to do. Be great and be grateful.